By the time she made it back down to the glossy floor from Worthington's office, a sea of new faces had gathered in the conference room for the morning meeting. Imogen had expected to have more time to prepare to see her staff. Over the past week, she'd practiced the speech she would make during this very meeting on her first day back. Looking through the glass walls, she didn't recognize anyone sitting around the table or slouched against the wall at the back of the room. Her managing editor, Jenny Packer, and creative director, Maxwell Todd, were conspicuously missing. Imogen's eyes searched for a familiar face as she walked in and took a seat at the head of the long white table. Now she recognized a couple of people from sales and marketing, but she still didn't see any of her editors. A young woman across the room smiled giddily at her. As soon as she made eye contact, Imogen knew it was a mistake.
"Imogen Tate!"
the girl squealed.
"I just love you! I am so happy that you are back! You are like a fashion goddess! A goddess! I just tweeted that you were sitting here in our meeting and I got like 15 retweets already. All of my friends are completely jealous of me for getting to sit here in this room and breathe the air you are breathing." She reached her hand, nails painted a neon pink and decorated on the tips with what looked like vanilla cake frosting, across the table. As she clasped it with her own, Imogen spied a chunky black rubber bracelet on the girl's wrist with pink writing, "Good, Great, Gorgeous, Glossy.com. "I'm Ashley. I'm your assistant. I'm also the community manager for the site."
Ashley's voice was childlike and twinkly, and she ended the last sentence like it was a question, even though Imogen was sure she hadn't meant it as one. Imogen had been looking for a new assistant when she left, so it would be helpful not to waste energy trying to find a new girl, but she was skeptical of this packaged deal. How was this girl going to be both her assistant and do whatever it was the community manager did? "Which community exactly are you managing, darling?" Imogen asked as she took in Ashley's long corn silk hair and huge pale blue eyes with absurdly long eyelashes that might have even been real. Her bee-stung lips were coated in a dark red lipstick that shouldn't have worked, but somehow just made her look more intense and beautiful. She was certainly an original in this room of girls who otherwise all looked the same. Ashley laughed and jumped out of her seat with the energy of a Labrador puppy, her hair rippling in a silky wave.
"The community! I manage all the social media. Twitter, Crackle, Facebook, Pinterest, Screamer, YouTube, Blog, Instagram, Snapchat, and ChatSnap. We're actually outsourcing the Tumblr right now to a digital agency, but I'm still working with them on it."
Imogen nodded, hoping to convey that she understood more than half of those words. Just then, Eve walked into the room, balancing her laptop in one hand and an iPad in the other. Eve shot daggers toward Ashley and reprimanded her. "This isn't a sorority meeting, girls." Imogen had no university degree. Molly Watson had scooped her up as a shop girl back in London when she was just 17, and she had been hard at work ever since. Still, Imogen had immediate uncomfortable associations with sorority girls, imagining them as a prelude to the Real Housewives of New York, beautiful, bitchy bullies. She surveyed the gang of new women gathered around the table, most of them in their early 20s. Where was her staff? The fashion sense of these girls was of two flavors, hooker or gym bunny, too tight dresses or coordinated track pants and hoodies. No one here in this room followed the unwritten rules of how the fashion industry dressed. Sure, magazines were filled with bright colours and over-the-top accessories, a cast of characters in elaborate designs all bedecked in taffeta, techno-leather, and, more than once, an entire rainbow of furs. But the people who created fashion were, for the most part, simple and bare in their personal style. You could tell who belonged from the interlopers who snuck past security at Fashion Week because the fashion editor typically wore something effortlessly thrown together. A Celine look, perhaps a YSL blouse with a vintage Hermès trench. Their clothes maintained a sense of uniform and calm in a chaotic world. There was a reason Grace Coddington still wore black every single day.